Hello and welcome. I'm Abdillahi Hassan. This is CBA News in Brief. The House of Elders, which is Somaliland's upper house of parliament, has responded to a lawsuit against them filed by an independent group called the National Advisory Forum. The forum, which is mostly made up by former SNM veterans, brought before the Constitutional Court a case against the House of Elders for unconstitutional extension of parliament's term. Mohammed Sheikh Abdirahman, the chairman of the Internal Affairs Committee of the House of Elders, said the House of Elders' recent term extension was constitutional. Senator Mohammed Sheikh Abdirahman argued that the term extension prevented a vacuum in the legislative branch of the government. Such prevented vacuum, the senator said, is a tantamount to a dire disaster, which is a cause for term extension allowed by the Constitution. However, the constitutional article in question further clarifies the meaning of dire circumstances, which is defined as either a world war, internal instability, or serious natural disasters. Mohammed Sheikh Abdirahman argued that the latest term extension made by the House of Elders has precedents that legitimize it. On Wednesday, the National Advisory Forum lauded the case at the Constitutional Court, seeking to reverse the House of Elders' decision to extend the House of Representatives' term to January 2022 and their term to January 2023. A prominent leader of Somaliland's opposition called on the government to investigate the Turkish consulate in Somaliland. Ali Antar, a member of the leadership of Wadani Party, has called on Somaliland's government to investigate illicit cash collection by Turkish consulate in Somaliland. Speaking to CBA reporter, Ali Antar accused the consulate of collecting money from the people of Somaliland without issuing receipts. He alleged that a minister in the federal government of Somalia and a businessman operate this money collection scheme. Ali Antar told the story of a woman who bought a house in Turkey. When she applied for the visa, the Turkish consulate in Hargeysa made her pay over $1,000 but was not issued a receipt. Finally, he said the woman was denied the visa she was seeking. Recently, many people in Somaliland have been investing in the real estate market of Turkey to gain residency there. The President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Mohammed Abdillahi Farmajo, has hosted a dinner at Villa Somalia for the participants and organizers of the 2019 National Youth Conference in Mogadishu. The dinner honoring the Somali youth was attended by Banaadir Governor Umar Mahmoud Mohammed, Presidential Director Dr. Noor Diriya Hirsi, General Manager of Somali National Development Agency Bashir Mohammed Chama, members of the Somali Federal Parliament, and the management and Australian team players who came to the country for humanitarian activities and to promote sports competitions and to promote integration. At the event, the President briefed the youth on his visions that shape the political and economic empowerment of young people and the government's efforts on the development and strengthening of youth role in the country's leadership. Farmajo said that his administration is now bringing back the country's younger generations to power, starting with elections. Concerning the youth of Somalia, he said they must hold themselves accountable for their efforts in their country and their contribution to development and governance. The President noted that the government's actions to strengthen the unity and independence of the country have led to the restoration of the dignity and status of Somali youth in the region and the world at large. During the event, the Minister of Sports and Youth of the Federal Government of Somalia, Ms. Khadija Mohammed Diriye, shared with the President the objectives of the National Youth Conference, the progress made by the Somali youth over the years, and their views on the government's plans and challenges at the state and federal levels. Somalia's Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Ahmed Isa Awad, held a dinner banquet in Mogadishu in honor of Swedish delegation from Warka Somaliland Academy. Somali diplomats will benefit from capacity development and training from the Swedish government's Peace and Security Agency, Warka Somaliland Academy, following a memorandum of understanding between the two countries. The banquet was attended by the Minister of Defense, Hassan Ali Mohammed, State Minister for Foreign Affairs International Cooperation Abdiqadir Ahmed Khair Abdi, MPs, the new Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mohammed Isaaq Aadan, the Ambassador of Sweden to the Federal Republic of Somalia Mr. Stefan Tillander, and the Ambassador is accredited, as well as a number of high-ranking Somali dignitaries. As part of Sweden's international development aid, Folke Bernadotte Academy promotes peace in conflict-affected countries. The agency is conducting training, research, and method development in order to strengthen peace building and state building in Somalia. In addition, the agency strives to enable inclusive and sustainable security sector reform in Somalia with the objective to construct a well-functioning security sector capable of exercising control over the entire state territory and guaranteeing the safety of all citizens. United Nations Security Council on Wednesday unanimously adopted Resolution 2500 renewing the authorization for Somalia anti-piracy measures to December 2020. The United States drafted resolution has decided to renew for 12 months the authorization for states and regional organizations cooperating with Somalia to enter into Somalia territorial waters and use all necessary means for the purpose of repressing acts of piracy and armed robbery at sea. It has also decided to renew the authorization for such actors cooperating with Somalia to take these measures for the same purposes in Somali territory on land, pursuant to the request of Somalia, while stressing that such measures are consistent with applicable international humanitarian and human rights law. Somalia had requested that these measures be renewed in a letter to the Security Council on November 22nd. The report of the United Nations Secretary General on the situation with respect to piracy and armed robbery at sea off the coast of Somalia was published on November 8th. The report described two significant piracy incidents since October 1st, 2018. Ethiopia is building its first Navy base in Djibouti after long speculation on the possibilities of having a Navy army to landlocked nation in the Horn of Africa. The Ethiopian government announced last year that it will rebuild a strong navy that would have a presence in the Red Sea, despite the country's being landlocked. The Ethiopian Navy was disbanded after the country lost access to its base in Massawa in 1996 due to Eritrea succeeding from Ethiopia in 1991. Abiy Ahmed, since he came to power, has been caught in Djibouti's goal in getting a base in that country, according to local media. Ethiopia's main Navy base will be in their country at Bahir Dar and will get its funding from the French government. However, as it turns out, it seems that the matter has not reached the final stage. Djibouti ambassador to Ethiopia, Mohammed Idris Farah, told BBC Amharic service that no formal agreement is reached between the two countries. However, he confirmed that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his Djiboutian counterpart, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, did have bilateral discussion, and the naval base issue was one of the topics discussed. Thank you for joining us. That was our news in brief. Stay tuned for our full news coverage with Wangui Gugi.